Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming. It is Thursday. This is an exciting day. We have some exciting news for you. We got to wrap it up in 20 minutes because your mind can only absorb what your rear can endure. So here it is, 20 minutes. Anyway, thank you for coming. 26, 27, 20, I think it's the 29th. It's almost June. Can you believe it? So, lots of exciting stuff to discuss today. Trump is on a mission from God. Nothing can stop what's coming. I believe nothing can stop what's coming. But yesterday, God is in control of everything. But his son, Yeshua, is the king of the planet. And he took his hands off Trump yesterday. I don't know what that means, except he says, if you want to do it your way, Trump, go for it. He says, but I got my way, and you're not listening. So we'll find out what happens. This is brought to you by Immusist. I usually use about 50 drops a day, but we recommend 50. The new Immucist is more effective in doing what it does. Now, let me back up a little bit. The National Cancer Institute was created by the National Cancer Act in 1937 in the United States, and then one in England was created in 1939. So I talked with the National Institutes of Cancer this morning, and I said, you're aware that the Army published a publication, The Cure for Cancer, in 1946. And they said, what? So I said some other things and they didn't respond. So the Army knew how to reverse cancer in 1946, but the National Cancer Institute never adopted it because it means money under the table and into their pockets from Big Pharma. You see, under the National Cancer Institute, nobody can treat cancer except with radiation, the knife, and experimental drugs like mustard gas, which is what they're using in the VA. Mustard gas, which is a violation right over there, U.S. Army regulations. And since it's being done on an Army post, the Army has the obligation to arrest the doctors conducting this act. But they haven't, because the people who are the generals conduct the human rituals once a month, and they're not about to arrest anybody for killing vets. So along comes a surfactant. And the NIH says, oh my gosh, well, there's two things that I'm going to talk about what Immusist does. First thing is the cells are surrounded by fat that we eat. They've poisoned our food. So what happens is if you increase the amount of soap in your body, surfactant, the grease starts to go away. The second thing that happens is when blood cells come together and clot, it's on an ionic connection. Well, when the fat is removed, that ionic connection doesn't work anymore and the blood cells don't seem to clot. I've seen that under a microscope. But you can see that, you can see that yourself under a microscope. The clotting blood suddenly separates because the ionic charge goes away. So the National Institutes of Health says Immusist may assist the human body, may assist it in ameliorating, they can't say reverse, ameliorating cancer, heart disease, autism, Alzheimer's, etc., etc., etc. Because once the cells have the fat removed from around them, the little cells, then they can absorb the nutrients. And in our tree studies, our plant studies, we found out that nutrient deficiencies cause cancer in every time in every plant. So transfer that to humans, you got to absorb the nutrients, i.e. the seaweed, i.e. the U.S. Army publication. But anyway, enough is enough. We can simply aid the body in reversing it. Nothing cures anything. We simply aid the body in reversing it. So we're not treating cancer, we're treating the body. And I don't treat it, you do. You buy the stuff and you treat yourself. What better way than to go into a doctor and spending millions of dollars? I mean, when they gave me that diagnosis for cancer, about freaked me out because I was eating tons of seaweed and, the Immusist. And I found out it was bullous pemphigoid, an autoimmune disease, because I ate like garbage. So I ate like they did in the Army and the diabetes is gone. Vegetables and meat. Anyway, on to the news story, although I think that would be news for anyone. If you're not a member of the DAV, this is a good time to join because this is the best DAV, Disabled American Veterans magazine, they've ever put out. They've had 4 or 5 months of pushing minorities, and I'm sick of that DEI. We're going from World War II and Korean vets to Vietnam vets. And I'm told by somebody who runs one of the clinics I know very well that they're potty mouth, angry, very angry veterans, upset at the world. And now we're getting a lot of women in these rest homes. And boy, are they mad. The women vets are mad and potty mouthed, and that's what I'm being told. But this is a great magazine about what the Vietnam veterans went through. And my homeowners insurance is going up 64%. My car insurance went up 15%. How can homeowners insurance go up 64%? The governor said, okay, the cap on property taxes is 1%, but we're allowing counties to charge 2% and violate the state law. We want to raise it to 4%. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to jack up all your other bills. So they're hitting the insurance companies with massive amounts of taxes. We got to support the illegals, man. We got to support the illegals. Screw America. And so my homeowners insurance went up 64% this month alone. It's going to go up 100% this year. Homeowners insurance is going up 100%. There aren't natural disasters here. What's happening is the state wants more money to support the illegals. Let me turn this off. This is one of those calls orchestrated by the FBI to harass me. They just call and hang up. So anyway, here is an example of Illinois schools we talked about. These 30 schools in Illinois, you can barely read it. That's the way it was on the net. Those 30 schools, not one child can read at the grade level. In other words, in those 30 schools in Illinois, no kids can read. And a typical Democratic ploy, Obama's real name was Barry Soetoro. Then he died. They got another one and another one. And a friend walked by the presidential limo. There were 3 Obamas in there, smoking and joking. 3 Obamas. They all looked the same. So he was Barry Soetoro. Ilmar Omar's real name is Ilmar Esme. She married a brother, came to the United States, and is here illegally, and they can't get rid of her. Kristen Gillibrand's real name is Ina Rutnick. Bill de Blasio's real name is Warren Wilhelm Jr. Beto O'Rourke is really Robert O'Rourke. Bernie Sanders is Bernie Gutman. No wonder he's a gutless wonder. Bernie Sanders is Bernard Gutman. Kamala Harris's real name is Maya Harrison. Pete Buttigieg, that weird, strange, demon-possessed freak, Pete Buttigieg, I call him Pete Buttgig, is named Paul Montgomery. Elizabeth Warren is Liz Herring. Cody Brooker is called, it's not Cory Booker, it's Tony Booker. And Eric Holder is Eric Hampton. How do these people get into the government using fake names? That's illegal. All these people need to be arrested. Bill Clinton's name is William Blythe. He was honest about that. Michelle Obama's name is Mike Levon. She changed it. Obama has 31 Social Security numbers, and Joe Biden has 3 names. How do these people work for our government when they have a different name? They say my name is Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, when her real name is something else. Kamala Harris is Maya Harrison. How was she eligible to be president when she used her fake name? I want to know. And Elizabeth Warren is Liz Herring. How did Liz Herring get into Congress using a fake name? I want to know why they're not under arrest for using fake names to run for Congress. Why are they not in jail, President Trump? United States Code 18, impersonating a federal officer. She ran for office using a fake name. How is she not in jail? Now, we're going on with that a little bit. We'll talk about Pocahontas in a bit. Marco Rubio came out with a speech. We have free speech in America. J.D. Vance was in Europe. We have free speech in America. And President Trump says, we're going to have free speech and obey the First Amendment of the Constitution. Bull pucky, hockey puck. The FBI has people who were sent in to YouTube to create AI programs to censor people all across the internet. The United States is the largest censor in the world, and the world is laughing at the Trump staff. Ha ha ha. Mark Rubio tells another public lie. Ha ha ha. Hegseth tells another public lie. Ha ha ha. Trump just lied again. Ha ha ha. Elizabeth Warren isn't her real name and she's in Congress. Ilmar Omar is married to her brother and she's in Congress and President Trump can't evict her as an illegal alien. Ha 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 ha. In your face, Trump. Comey comes out and says, we're going to kill President Trump and the FBI. Ha 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 ha. We're going to kill President Trump. If President Trump doesn't arrest him. We have 300 military volunteers ready to arrest these people. But President Trump won't play. They're laughing at you, President Trump. Laughing at you around the world. They're going to continue to laugh. You're providing satellite information so the Ukraine can kill civilians in Russia. They're laughing at you in the rest of the world because you have the satellites turned on and they're using them to try and assassinate Putin, which is a nuclear event. It is you who are attempting to start the nuclear conflict. There's nothing more I can say. You're allowing your satellite data, because Hegseth can't control the GS7, so nobody's listening to Hegseth. So the satellites are turned on for the Ukrainians. It is the Pentagon targeting Moscow, not Germany. The Pentagon. We're run by the Federal Reserve System. You don't play, you don't get paid. People will do exactly what they're told to do. This is Hitler on steroids. So, the FBI is the biggest censors in the world. And now the truth. Elizabeth Warren ran the White House. But David Hoggs, remember the guy involved in a school shooting who's now head of the Democratic Party? We said he worked for the CIA a long time ago, and everybody says I'm full of it. David Hoggs is a CIA agent. And he openly said that Anthony Bernal, President Biden's wife, Jill, her chief of staff, Anthony Bernal, a very quiet guy in the background, ran the auto pen. Now, we've talked about officers aiding important or obscene treasonous books and articles in the United States Code 18. We've talked about fraud and related activity in connection with identification documents, authentication features, and information, how the people who use the auto pen should be arrested or hung for treason. And we talked about how the Comstock Act initiated after the U.S. was incorporated. Initiated United States Code 18. Now, the Senate or the House is investigating. Oh yeah, there's Zelensky with his zipper showing because his pants are on backwards as he meets with the head of Germany. The House Oversight Committee meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, said these are the violations, textbook example of the violations of United States Code 18. These people should be arrested immediately for treason. Do you think the Department of Justice is doing? No, they're aiding in the censorship of the truth. That's why we're down to 3,200 hits. FBI, FBI, you're the yellow bellies there. As the cowards keep rolling along. Anyway, in United States Code 18, Section 912, impersonation of a federal officer. They impersonated the President of the United States Corporation. That's a violation whose penalty is 3 years in prison, automatic. So why is he not in prison? Why is Elizabeth Warren not in prison? United States Code 18, Section 1001. False statements, any deception involving a material act of a government, especially in formal documents, 5 to 8 years in prison per count. Well, let's see, that's about 200 executive orders and about 1,000 bills. Well, that's 5 to 8 years times 1,000. Why is this man Anthony Bernal and Elizabeth Warren, whose real name is not Elizabeth Warren, but Elizabeth something else? I can't keep all these names straight. Man, they change their names more than I change underwear, which is a lot. Anyway, so why is Elizabeth Warren not in jail? I gotta get her real name. I got to hang that up because every time we talk about Pocahontas, we got to say Liz Herring. That's her real name. So she impersonated a federal officer. Why is she not in jail? United States Code 18, Section 371. Conspiracy to defraud the United States and multiple officials coordinated sex actions, even internally, it may be prosecutable as conspiracy. Treason. And finally, United States Code 18, Section 1503 and 1512, obstruction of justice. Any falsified pardons were used to derail or stop criminal proceedings, such as the Hunter Biden pardon that stopped his charges and likely sentencing. Obstruction charges would apply. United States Code 8. Now, these are the United States codes that the committee already identified. This is the United States Code that they were too stupid to identify. United States Code 18, Section 1028. Fraud and related activity in connection with identification documents, authentication features, and information. Punishable by 20 years to death. It's called treason, aiding and abetting the enemy. That's the Constitution of 1769. But the Constitution of 1871, clearly this applies because it was written in 1873. Just like the properties taken away from the Indians. The Indians, not Native Americans, you democratic freaks. The property taken away from Indians by the United States Corporation was an illegal corporate seizure of lands. It still belongs to the Indians because the United States of America, Republic, gave it to them. Nowhere in our Constitution does it say democracy. We're a republic. You moronic press. So there you go. Why are they not in jail? The world is laughing at us. Not only do they censor us beyond reproach, and the world is so laughing at Rubio. He sends people out to do this and that. They come in and the world leaders go, Trump sends people out and they go, Comey's going to kill you. He's openly said it. And you don't have the guts to arrest him. A man who doesn't even work now says, we in the FBI are going to kill Trump. The SS, his daddy ran the SS and managed the Holocaust. There we go. Now watch the FBI censor this. It's not just the FBI. Under D.C., there's a lot of military down there censoring things. The NSA does it. They have 32,000 employees. They didn't gut the NSA when they fired 100 people. They have 32,000 employees. What's wrong with you, mainstream press? You're touched to the head. The CIA has countless employees all over the world. They're the censors. We have over 80 intelligence agencies in this country. The budgets need to be terminated. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. It's going to be censored, so I'm going to end it now because it doesn't matter what I say. The FBI yellow-bellied cowards will censor it, and there's nothing you can do until Trump cuts their budget. God bless. Thank you very much. We're waiting on Trump. We'll see you tomorrow. No, we're going to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, we think. Depends on what happens tomorrow, but we think we'll take it off. God bless. Have a good day.